everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a tag video because my brain is absolutely empty of ideas. It's not even just that it's empty of ideas, it's just I get home after work and it's just I have no thoughts. Nothing flows through my head, and it's making doing reading difficult, it's making doing booktube difficult, it's making doing practicing the violin difficult, it's just making everything difficult. It's just it's not a lack of desire to do these things. It's just like my brain does not want to mentally process anything. So it's a really weird state of mind I'm in right now. And on top of that, I had my orchestra concert last weekend, which is why there was no video. So I had my orchestra concert last weekend, so that kept me quite busy. And maybe it's just, maybe my brain state this week is just me finally trying to relax after that really, really busy moment. We played Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony, which was, I think we did quite well. We are an amateur orchestra. Do not think that I am a professional of any sort. And then we played Mendelssohn's Overture to Midsummer Night's Dream. So we played Midsummer Night's Dream, but we only played the Overture, the Scherzo, and then the Wedding March at the end. So we played three parts of that that work. That didn't go as well, but that requires such like very precise staccato type bow movements, and I think a lot of, as an ensemble, we're not very good at being that precise in our technique. But it was really, really fun. But yeah, my brain is just, I'm in relax mode, I think. And especially since I'm about to go on vacation soon. And I think I'm waiting for just to get past this little moment so I can be full on vacation. So yeah, we're going to do a tag video today. This is the book addiction tag, which I got the idea to do from Books with Emily Fox's channel. This is not her original video idea. This is not original content. If I can find it, I'm going to have to sort of like go into the archives to see if I can find the original creator. But for now, I'll link her video, and then if I do find the original creator, I will obviously link that video as well. So to get on to the first question, what is the longest amount of time you can comfortably go without picking up a book? To be perfectly honest, I think I could probably never pick up a book ever again. I think I would actually be able to do that. And I say that because there is so much excellent sources of entertainment out there. Whether that's movies or TV or theater, playing sports out of playing sports, watching sports, and just being social with friends and family. I would be quite happy just with those things, I feel. So yeah, I mean, if books didn't exist, I would find other ways to get that source of information and get that source of entertainment. So realistically, I do think I could never read a book ever again. However, do I want to? Not so much, because books are such this rich source of entertainment and knowledge and insight, and it really gives you this ability to reflect on yourself and on, you know, the situation around. So it's not something that I would entirely want to give up, but I think I could. But you know, with that means that, yeah, I mean, I could probably go a month, 2 months, 3 months without reading. But that isn't without saying that the times in the past that I have gone quite a long span of time without reading, I definitely had the idea of reading in the back of my mind, like, oh, it would be nice if I could find a book that sparked that interest again. So that's where we are with that one. Second question, how many books do you carry on your person at any one time? So just one, just the one. I usually check before I'm reading to see if there's enough pages to cover me for that day. If I'm towards the end of the book, either I will not bring it along and choose the next book I plan on starting, or I will bring it along plus the other book. But it really depends on what I'm doing that day, because I don't want to be carrying extra weight. Back in the States, that wouldn't be an issue because you have a car and I could just leave the extra book in my car and like pick it up when I need it. But definitely in Japan, you always have to have a bag with you. There's nowhere you can just leave your stuff behind to carry it to grab it again. So I definitely take that into consideration when I'm doing a day's activities of how much I need to carry, how much I want to carry. So, but typically just the one book. Next question, do you keep every book you buy / receive, or are you happy to pass them on to make space for more? This is becoming a tough question because back in the day, yes, I would keep every single book that I owned. But now, because the majority of my books are still in the US at my parents' home, and I live here in Japan, and my mom definitely wants to move out of that house, so I'm now gonna have to think about what to do about those books, and I think I will be getting rid of a lot of them. I would like to keep any of my Japanese lit books. I would also like to keep any of the French language books I have, but anything I read that's just kind of like maybe from my childhood or things like that, I think I'd be okay with getting rid of that. And definitely in my bookshelves here in Japan, I don't want to have an excess of books anymore. So I would like to get rid of some, but it's a little hard because if it's Japanese books, I can easily sell it to the used bookstore, but if it's English language or French language books, I don't really know how to get rid of those because I don't know. If I sell them, I'll get like maybe 10 cents for the book. You know, I'm not going to get that much for them. There are books I do want to get rid of. For example, Salvation of a Saint by Keigo Higashino. It was fine, but I didn't really like it, so I could get rid of it. I don't really care. The People of Forever Are Not Afraid by Shani Byanju. This is an arc. Does it have to do with Syria? I don't know, but it's an arc I received that I'm not really interested, so I'm happy to get rid of that. There's some manga, Boys on the Run, Volume 1. This is by the author of I Am a Hero that I absolutely love that manga, but I don't really know if I want to read this one anymore. I watched the movie and it was already kind of very strange. So I don't know, I might get rid of this. One Japanese book, Kawakami Hiromi no Sensei no Kaban, The Professor's Briefcase, which was translated as Strange Weather in Tokyo in the English translation. Yeah, totally different title than the original. This I actually read the majority of it. I passed the halfway mark, and I was enjoying it, but I think I don't have room for this kind of size on my shelves. I prefer the smaller mass paperback sizes, so I think I would want to buy that version of the book and then reread this. So I'm happy to get rid of this, as well as some more manga. Jisatsuto, so the first 5 volumes of Jisatsuto, I didn't really care for this manga, so I'm fine with getting rid of this. And then when I bought the set of Barakamon manga, it also included this official fan book comic, and these books always have just Q&A and like character profiles, which I've never really cared about, so get rid of this. But yeah, so there are books I want to get rid of. The Lori Fuss's A Blue Girl, gosh, I would love to get rid of that book. I do not want to keep it, but I just don't know how to get rid of it. So yeah, if I was in one location and I knew I was going to stay in that location for the rest of my life, I'd be fine with keeping all the books I have. But now I have to take into consideration that it's not my situation, and now I'm going to have to indeed get rid of books. 4th question, how long would you spend in a bookshop on a standard visit? I actually don't stay that long in bookshops, because usually I like to go with the goal in mind. Even if I go to browse, eventually you kind of get overwhelmed by the choice. So I'd rather not stay too long, because strangely the more I stay, the less I want to buy. So it's better that I use my initial energy and enthusiasm to get things at the very beginning and just leave. So I probably don't stay more than 30 minutes in a bookstore. Next one, number 5, how much time per day do you actually spend reading? During the week, I would say an hour to an hour and a half, because I do about 30 minutes at lunch, and then I go to bed at 10 with the idea of actually falling asleep at midnight. So usually I try to use that 2-hour span reading, but sometimes I don't exactly start at 10, or I go to bed at 11. I fall asleep at 11:30 instead of midnight. So it depends. Weekends I actually don't read that much. It's the weekend right now and I haven't read a single word. So yeah. Next question, number 6. Where does the task picking up a book appear on your daily to-do list? Lunch. and at night. And if I long train ride, then on a train I will read. Number 7, how many books do you reckon you own in total? So I looked it up on my library thing account, and it says that I own 610 books. I think I've probably gotten rid of 10 of those, so about 600 books. And then that doesn't include my manga. My manga, I have about 1,000 individual volumes split between here and the US. So about 1,600 individual volumes of in book format is what I own. And I don't own any ebooks. Number 8, approximately how often do you bring up books in conversation? When it's with my mom and one of my friends here in Japan, pretty much every single conversation we have, I'll mention books. Anybody else? No, I don't really have those type of conversations, which is nice to have BookTube and to have library things, so I can have these conversations. Number 9, what is the biggest book page count you have finished reading? As we know, I read Water Margin, the Chinese classic Water Margin, Shinayan, which is about 2,000 pages last year. But when I finish reading The Story of the Stone, which I have not started volume 3 yet, again, because of that weird brain funk I'm having, I haven't started it yet. But when I finish this, I think this will be 2,400 pages. And because of the size of these books, I actually think it's probably longer than this. Yeah, what am I saying? I just said this is 2,000 pages and this is 2,400. So yeah, size, not in consideration, this is still the longer book. But I think the longest book I have ever read is Alexandre Dumas' Le Vicomte de Bragelonne, which is the 3rd book in the D'Artagnan series. And that book, in the English translations, they split up the volume into like Louis de Vallière and The Man in the Iron Mask. So it's not a single 2,700 page volume, but the French edition is. And that's probably the longest that I have. And that book is in these Folio Classique editions. So 2,700 pages of this. So it's actually 3 volumes of book type like this. So yeah, I think that's the longest book I've ever read. But I mean, I read that in a month. It was so easy to read because it was just pure adventure, pure fun. I loved it so much. I couldn't put it down. Such a good book. Number 10, is there a book you had to get your hands on against all odds? As in search bookstores, online digging, stalked the author, etc. Stalking, let's not use that word. It's even in jest. It's not really good. But I think for me, not so much. The only book I could think of was Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca that I bought last year. And this wasn't an at all costs buy, but it's a book that I've always wanted to read. But I never liked the formats, the editions that were available in bookstores, whether used bookstores or new used bookstores. And since this is a book I know that my interest for it will never wane, I felt comfortable waiting until I found an actual edition that I liked. And I finally found this one. And yeah, that made me finally pick up the book. So if someone gave me a different edition of this book, would I have read it? Yeah, I would. But because I had the option to take my time, I definitely did wait until I could buy that edition. The next question is there a book you struggled to finish because you refused to DNF it, that I refused to not finish it? This would be the book that I read last year, Petit Éloge de l'Errance by Akira Mizubayashi. This is an author I've mentioned several times now on my channel, that I really loved his first book, which was called Une langue venue d'ailleurs, which is about his experience learning the French language as a Japanese person. This was another essay of his, but it just didn't do much for me. It didn't provide any new ideas, and even if it was slightly older ideas, it didn't present them in a new way that made the book very interesting. But the reason I didn't abandon it is because it's only like 120 pages, and I was able to read it in one day nevertheless. But if this had been any longer, if this had been like a 300-page book or so, I think I would have given up on it. But yeah, the only thing that saved it was its length. Next question. What are 3 of your main book goals for 2021? So now that we're in the month of April. I don't know. Do I have goals other than just to read, enjoy what I read, and read the books that are off my shelves? I'm definitely enjoying lately going into my back catalog, books I've had for a while, and basically to enjoy buying new books. Actually, I keep books on my wish list for a long time, but I do want to read them. So now I'm actually making more of an effort to buy them now, so that I can read them now. But yeah, it's I mean, like anybody's goals, just read books. Hope you enjoy them and read the books as they come in, so that they don't just lay a waste on bookshelves. Next question. Have you ever had the privilege of converting someone into a reader by inspiration or your incessant nagging? Have I ever converted someone into a reader? No, I have not. Have I convinced people to read certain authors, certain books, certain types of literature? Yes. My friend from college, I made him read a lot of Japanese books, Black Rain, which is beautiful. I made him read... what else did I make him read? I think I made him read Shipwrecks by Akira Mizube. Nope. Akira Yoshimura. And he absolutely loved them. So that was very happy. On Library Thing, I convinced a lot of people to read Stefan Zweig, which made me excruciatingly happy because they all loved it. Last year, because of me, people read Au bord de l'eau and they loved it. The year before that, I made people read Lonesome Dove with me, and again, they loved that. So I'm definitely happy that people have found love out of the books I've recommended and have really enjoyed themselves doing the group reads with me for books that I have wanted to read, such as Lonesome Dove. But have I ever made someone a reader who wasn't a reader before? I don't believe so. I don't. That's hard. That's really hard to do. I don't know. It's hard. What makes someone a reader and what makes someone not a reader? How do you change someone's opinion about what a book could provide? I don't know. I really don't know. That's hard. Last question. Describe what books mean to you in 5 words. Why consider yourself a reader and limit yourself to 5 words when you can write a book about what makes you enjoy reading books? So I don't know. What do books mean to me? Books for me, as I mentioned before, they're a source of entertainment, they're a source of relaxation, they're a source of frustration if you read about situations that you wish could be better but you have no control over. They are a source of knowledge, they are a source of empathy, they are a source of or not a source of, but they're a manner of looking at the world in a new light. Hopefully in a new light. Hopefully you're not reading just to confirm your views. Hopefully you're reading, if you're reading things like nonfiction, if you're reading books from other countries, if you're reading books from people who don't follow your lifestyle, hopefully you're not using that to confirm your views. Hopefully you're using that to round out your views, help you adapt to new situations. So books are a source of, they're a mirror to the world, basically. They give you an opportunity to look at the world that you can't do because we're so limited. We'll never be able to visit everything. We'll never be able to see everything. We can't learn every language. We can't, and it sucks as much as we want to, as much as, I mean, I would want to. You're limited, and you'll always be limited. And I think books allow you to at least push those boundaries a little bit. So yeah, those are my 5 words. And yeah, that's the end of the video. It's the end of April, so I'm assuming the next video will probably be my April wrap-up, which is not going to be that much. At this point, I've only finished 2 books. I'm currently reading, I'm in the middle of the other 2, but I don't know if I'll finish them. Just, again, this brain funk I'm having. But I'm in the middle of Un roi sans divertissement by Jean Giono. And I'm in the middle of L'affaire Calla et autres affaires, traité sur la tolérance by Voltaire. And this one I think maybe I could finish by the end of this week. The Voltaire, I think it's gonna, I might have to continue on into the month of May. But yeah, next video, yeah, will be my April wrap up. So I'll see you then. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Bye.